Hey, welcome you guys to Golden Drop. My name is Sharon McDonald and I'm going to be your host today. And we're going to be talking about Douglas Fir. Douglas Fir, a lot of people, as you start your essential oil journey, everybody wonders, what can I do? What can I do that will teach me about these essential oils and how I can use them, but I don't want to be overwhelmed. And that's like their first response is, there's so much to learn. I mean, seriously, raise your hand if you have ever thought to yourself in your mind, this is a little overwhelming. How am I going to ever remember this? Just go ahead and raise your hand. Think to yourself, yes, that's me, right? And especially if you're a learner, and then it's like, I have to become an expert in all these products. So what I want to do today, after using essential oils for 22 years, I want to invite you to relax. I want to invite you to relax so that you will be able to really empower yourself and your families and come to essential oils in a different manner. Being more relaxed and really kind of tuning into what your family needs. And as you look over these essential oils, simplifying the process. So today we're going to be talking about Douglas Fir, which is really a great essential oil for muscles. Okay. So if you suffer from like muscles that are a little bit rheumatic, right? And rheumatoid. So there's like muscle tension, tightness, and maybe joint issues. So our athletes are really going to love this. This is a good, when you apply this with something like aromatouch or cypress, you're going to get more benefit out of your muscle structure than you would if you didn't. When you apply deep blue rub over the top of that, your response will be even greater. Now, why is that? So let's unwind why this works. So the cooling properties of Douglas Fir are going to go in and start to relax those muscles. And then when you add in cypress or something with cypress in it, like aromatouch, you're going to deepen that experience because it's going to create some circulation. And what those sore muscles need is going to be, they want circulation, right? They need to have blood flow. And so what makes this really wonderful is that when we put deep blue rub on top of it, now we're pushing that really deep into the muscles and into the joint structure so that they can get relief. And the exact same thing happens when we use it for respiratory. So this is what it's used for, is for muscles and for our anything to do with respiratory. Okay, and so let's talk about what it does. And I want to share with you, as a mom of 5, I love any of the fir oils. I mean, they have always been my favorite because they're so cooling. They really, I've never been a big fan of cough syrups, but I am big on keeping those airways open, especially when a child has croup or we have some sort of a flu or sinus issue going on. These essential oils are going to be really great for that. So the types of problems that Douglas Fir will support the body in are going to be things like asthma, okay, anything to do with bronchitis, any kind of congestion, of the lungs, coughs, flu type symptoms where your muscles are achy, your body is achy. It also helps with focus. It helps the mind really be able to identify what it's looking for and clear the pathways for concentration. It also is really great for any kind of infection. So it will get in and it will start to do its thing, and I'll share with you why. Again, like I said, any kind of rheumatism, muscle and joint, it's very supportive for these. So let's talk about the properties. If you want to learn about these, oftentimes, especially yoga instructors, or when you're in a class and you pass around a bottle, people are always concerned about germs. But what I want to share with you is that essential oils are naturally antiseptic. They're naturally many times antimicrobial, antibacterial, and antifungal. Well, what does that mean? It means that they have the components to be super clean and to clean everything without killing all the bacteria, the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. It just is it's almost like you're putting a shield over yourself when you use essential oils. So going to the properties inside your favorite reference book is really important. And I wanted to talk about that today. So antiseptic is definitely the number one thing that Douglas Fir is. It's also an astringent. So it's going to be good for the skin and it's going to tighten those pores. This is a really good essential oil for men after shaving. And it can be irritating to the skin. So I recommend putting it with some witch hazel into a spray bottle and misting it over the face. It's going to be really good. And it's going to smell really manly. So you're going to love it. It's also a diuretic. What does that mean? It pushes fluid through, which is why it's so good for those muscles. That's why it's cooling to the skin. That's why it's cooling to the lungs, because it's really cooling things down. It's also an exportant. What does that mean when it's exported? It means it expels, right? So it expels pain, inflammation. It expels extra fluid. That's why it's so helpful for bronchitis and supporting the body in that way. It's also a sedative. It's going to calm the muscle down. It's going to calm the nerves down that are freaking out. And that's why it's so nice for the skin, because it acts like a tonic and a sedative. So it's going to really decrease the inflammation. So if you happen to have skin that maybe has acne, right? Those kinds of things, it's going to be very helpful for the skin in that way. So when we look at these, if you don't know a word, Google it. Like I'm sitting in a networking group right now and Google is presenting right now. And it's super fun because they're talking about like we live by Google. And this is how I taught myself how to use essential oils. I studied the properties because the books that I had were really kind of woo-woo and they bothered me. They bothered me in how they taught me how to use essential oils. So I never wanted anyone to feel like that when they learned from me. And so Google it. If you hear a word you don't know, Google it. Don't sit there and feel stupid. Nobody's intentionally making you feel that way. Google it and find out what it does. What does antimicrobial mean? It just means bad microbes can't get on there, and it's warding it off like a shield. So let's talk about what essential oils blend well with this, okay? And I don't have the recipe handy, but Kiera might know it offhand. I literally just made up 6 batches. We had a green cleaning class. So I'm putting the word out there now. If anybody has the recipe, to quickly just like post it for us, but for pine sol, because Douglas Fir is in pine sol. And that is the best cleaner for multi-purpose cleaning. And if you are a big, like I love pine sol, is such a good cleaner. So I would love it. If you don't have it, when I post the replay on this, I will make sure that it is up there and that you guys have it, and it'll be posted. Okay, so here's what it blends well with. It blends well with cedar wood, so it's going to be, again, calming. Those two together are amazing for calming, helping you sedate and go to sleep. Eucalyptus, very invigorating, also going to expel a bunch of junk. Frankincense, it just is an enhancer with that. So it's going to deepen the practice. It's going to deepen the experience with, the experience your body or your mind is going to have with it. Juniper berry, it's really good for the kidneys and liver when you add juniper berry with Douglas fir or Siberian fir, any of those fir kind of oils, even arborvitae, and it's going to really, really help with supporting the kidneys, okay, in that way. I'm going to also say when you're supporting the kidneys, you're supporting the adrenal glands. All right. So it also blends well with lavender and lemon and orange and sandalwood. And so I prepared a couple of diffuser blends for you because I love diffuser blends. And I want to just remind everybody on this call that if you love a diffuser blend so much and you're like, I wish that I could put this in a bottle, you can. You can get a 5 ml roller bottle or reuse one of your 10 ml roller bottles, or just create your own, whatever is good for you. But take these properties of some of these of your favorite diffuser blends and put them in a roller bottle and use them to enhance your life. Okay. So here is one of my favorite ones. I nicknamed it Fiesta. Okay. And you're going to take, I have to read my writing, 3 drops of wild orange in your diffuser, 5 drops of lemon essential oil. Okay. And 2 drops of Douglas Fir. I'm going to read that again. 2 drops of Douglas Fir. So that's 3 drops of wild orange, 5 drops of lemon, and 2 drops of Douglas Fir in your diffuser. Now, I always go for 10 drops of essential oil in my diffuser because I usually diffuse for 5 hours, sometimes more. And so it really helps it last long. And people always come into my house and go, oh my gosh, it smells so good. And it's because I really need the mood. I don't have time to fuss with it and change it out. So I go for the gusto, and there's a lot more properties. Like, so it's there mentally, physically, and spiritually for me. And so I always go for 10. Okay. And I'm going to read it again. Wild orange, 3 drops, lemon, 5 drops, Douglas Fir, 2 drops. And I'm going to give you one more. Now, this one is not my super favorite, but you may really love it. But I'm not a big fan of passion. This one has passion. How do you open up your passion roller bottle and get it out? Use a pipette or a dropper, an eyedropper, and get in there and get that. So this is called Campfire, and it smells good. I alter, if there's a smell I don't care for, I use less of that one. I'm going to give you the real recipe, and then just know that I alter it because I don't like the smell of passion. I know you guys are like, what? You don't like Motivate and you don't like passion? I'm just being super open and honest with you. No, I don't, and it's okay. So this is 2 drops of passion, 5 drops of Douglas Fir, 5 drops of Douglas Fir, and 4 drops of sandalwood. I will read that again. 2 drops of passion, 5 drops of Douglas Fir, 4 drops of sandalwood. Okay. And how I'm going to end today is I'm going to just quickly give you some substitutes. This is another thing that I loved learning about essential oils that I want to pass on to anyone who is in my space. And I want to invite you to look for substitutes, because if you go to your oil box and you're like, oh, I really need Douglas Fir, but I don't have it, what can I use instead? It's just like going into a recipe and saying, oh, I'm out of eggs. What can I do? Well, if you've got chia seeds, you have an egg. If you want to turn a vegan recipe into, a regular recipe into a vegan recipe, just substitute it with chia seeds that have been moistened and have that jelly-like consistency. It's great and it works perfectly. So what about essential oils? Here are some substitutes. So if you have white fir left, you can use that. Siberian fir, spearmint, eucalyptus, rosemary, cypress, and peppermint. So I want you to think about the way those are. Those all are super cooling. They're refreshing. So you have white fir, Siberian fir, spearmint, eucalyptus, rosemary, cypress, and peppermint. A lot of those are moving the circulation. So these are all going to be really good for providing you space and time to rejuvenate those muscles. So I would love to know if there's any questions, if you guys have any comments, any concerns about how to use this. I'm going to jump in the chat. I think that our cute Kiera probably put up. There we go. Thank you, Kiera Wells. So that pine sol recipe is up there. I've copied it and I'm going to save it so I have it because then I don't have to refer back to my thing. Anybody else have any way that they use Douglas Fir that they want to share, or a question? It doesn't have to be about Douglas Fir.
I'm not sure how awesome my signal is, but Douglas Fir with lemon is my hardcore focus blend. I put that stuff in my little iris diffuser on my desk at work whenever I have a stack of stuff that I have to plow through, and it seems to like just line everything up and helps me, prioritize really fast and easy. Just, I don't know how else to describe it except for
Do you
that
want
it
to know
brain.
why that is, Kira? Are you curious why?
I know that lemon is the oil of focus, and I'm trying to remember, and I know that you said it, but I was cutting in and out, so I didn't hear what you were saying as far as like the emotional qualities of Douglas Fir is.
So because I'm at this networking event right now, I don't have my emotional book, but I will put it in our post, the emotional qualities. Lemon actually is for people who put a lot of pressure on themselves to learn, to be very like in the moment. They put a pressure on to do well. And so what that does is it eases that and then leaves more brain space and power for you to be able to concentrate and focus. And Douglas Fir is very anchoring. It's very, we're right here, right now. So this is why you're experiencing that with this blend.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And that's why I use lemon all the time, because that describes you to a T. So perfect. Thank you, Sharon.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so Diana shared with us. Thank you, Diana. A good book to look up is Natural Kills for Killer Germs. Okay, Natural Cures for Killer Germs. It's by Ingram Cass. So Cass is C-A-S-S. I will also post that in there. In fact, I actually need to take a screenshot of this so that I don't lose this. Okay, so thank you, Diana, for that. I'm a big fan of looking up herbals and different things to be able to really be sustainable in my own usage. And the reason why I love essential oils so much is because they're 50 to 70 times more powerful than an herb. And there's a lot to be said for that. And the shelf life is a lot longer than an herb. Although I love herbs, and when they're in my space, I love to use them. But they're not always there, and they're not reliable in their shelf life, right? Being able to store them properly and whatnot. So essential oils, it becomes super helpful. The smartest way to purchase your essential oils is on a loyalty program. And the loyalty program simply just says you're going to get an extra percentage back. So every time you purchase 50 points or higher in doTERRA on the loyalty program, you're going to be getting 10% to 30% back in your pocket to spend. What does that mean? It means you could end up, one day you'll look in there and you'll be like, I have 500 points. This literally just happened to one of my customers. And she's like, what do I do? And I'm like, heck, you've got $500 to spend. So what are you going to go buy? What are you going to do? And so that was a really happy moment. She'd been using for over a year, and she had 500 points back in there to be able to share. So that is the smartest way. And if you have any questions, I highly recommend you ask. If you've been curious about doTERRA as a business and creating an entrepreneur experience for yourself, or maybe get your own essential oils for free, please drop us a note or connect with the person that brought you to this call today and ask them, hey, what would it take? What would it take for me to be able to do this as a business? Can you help me? So you can just drop a comment below if you need to connect with us, but I really would love it if you would connect with the person who introduced you to this call and have them help you so that they can have the lovely benefit of being able to be your guide and enjoy this really healthy, lovely lifestyle. And I want to thank all of you for being here and honoring the space and time that we have to learn a little bit more. And I hope this was super simple, because my favorite thing in the world to do is to simplify the process of using these beautiful natural earth qualities that we've been blessed with. And what an honor it is to be able to be here. So thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, guys.